Welcome back. You're watching Bottom Line. Shifting focus to Nagaland now. Well, Governor Jagdish Mukhi's address at the NEC plenary has once again brought the focus back to the high unemployment rate in Nagaland, which is one of the states with the highest unemployment rate in the country. Well, according to the periodic labor force survey conducted in 2019-2020, the unemployment rate in Nagaland is well over 20%. In fact, the unemployment rate in Nagaland saw an increase at a time when the all India rate dropped slightly around about the same time in 2019-2020. So what is the cause of this high unemployment rate? Is it because of the failure to utilize the gross budgetary support to the state? Is it because of pending projects or the failure of the labor market to extend itself? What could be the reason that the state is unable to control even slightly the unemployment problem? To discuss this, I'm being joined at my studios in Guwahati by Nishute Dulo. He's the CEO of Entrepreneurs Associates. Warm welcome to you, sir, on Bottom Line. From Kohima, I'm being joined by Lichin Hamso, founder and CEO at Tech Coffee. Very welcome to both of you, gentlemen. Coming to you, sir, Mr. Dulo first. Well, what do you think is the primary reason that this unemployment rate in Nagaland, the crisis, is not being controlled despite efforts?
Well, the government has got many policies and schemes to encourage youth employment, and we have seen that a lot of people are actually getting benefits from these, but we need to do more than the government policies. And that comes to the question of education. I believe that we need to revamp our education systems. Our education system, not only in Nagaland, but in the country and also in the northeast region of India. We need to revamp our education by encouraging analytical mind, by creating more contextual and environment-based education system. And
so are you talking also about, sorry to interrupt you, are you also talking about skill-centric education at the same time?
Yes,
no,
exactly. With improvement in analytical education, we need to improve better skills. Now, that leads to what we have in mindset change as well. You know, the education overwhelmingly celebrates government job, but in a way does not celebrate enough of enterprising spirit or the self-employment job or entrepreneurship. So if our education does not make our youth to look at entrepreneurship, self-employment as a good way of engaging yourself professionally and being creators of wealth, we will continue to have unemployment problem no matter how good the government policies are. Because worldwide, if we see entrepreneurship is the key generator for youth employment and wealth generation. Whereas in a place like Nagaland, it has been zeroed in down, or rather confined to only government space. And so these things need to change.
Absolutely, very, very well put that. Lichinham, so, well, I'm talking with two entrepreneurs here in a state, from a state like Nagaland, where we still mostly, you know, as Mr. Dulo just mentioned, go after government jobs, look for government jobs. And that's not just the case in Nagaland, but also in most other Northeast states. What made someone like you take the path of an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for me, I also worked with the government for 6.5 years.
Oh, okay.
To begin with. Uh, Around the same time, one of the biggest problems that we saw was obviously we had more than lakhs of people who are educated, who are unemployed at the same time, which to me, I found it like an oxymoron. That two cannot exist together. So what troubles me so much that time was to speak with people of my contemporary or of someone younger to me, telling me that without the help of the government, we can do nothing. And I look into my city, Kohima, and I found that except for few people like Sir Nitsda Dulo, who is sitting right next to you, for few people like them, except for them, the rest who are a contractor or a businessman or farmers, everybody waiting for the central government to send the funding in different forms. And the rest of the population, they are depending on their parents who are also waiting for the
Absolutely.
concerned me. And so I thought maybe, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Maybe I thought we should do something without the help of the government, not just as surviving business, but even a thriving business. So 6.5 years, we have come this far without the help of the government. And when I say this one, I'm not saying we don't have a support from the government. We do have. I'm not saying we don't need the help of the government. We need the help of the government. But this is to prove it to ourselves that we should, as people, as citizens, should put value on the table first. And if the government or any agency comes forward to help, it should come as a complementary support system. And so, yeah, one of the many reasons that pushed me to get into entrepreneurship was to be able to do something of our own.
Absolutely, that's a bold decision, especially for someone who has had a was in government service for over 6.5 years. You were talking about skill-centric education. Can you shed some more light on that? What needs to be done in the context of Nagaland? You know, in context of Nagaland, because it varies also from state to state. What could be the strengths of the youth, probably, as far as Nagaland is concerned?
Interestingly, Nagaland is yet to have a vibrant presence of industry. Government still remains to be the largest employer. Our education system seems to be churning out graduates who are fit for government job and not fit for the private sector or for self-employment or for entrepreneurship. And therefore, we really need to look at even small skills where they can be employed in the hospitality sector. We need skills where they can be employed in logistics. We need skills where people can be employed in manufacturing, which is becoming an emerging trend in Nagaland. But all these are not readily available in the mainstream education at this point of time. And therefore, if we don't skill our youth for job, that is contextual. For instance, when modern education came to Nagaland and also to other states, we were not taught on how to make education contextual to us and our environment. We need education to take care of the agriculture. We need education to take care of livestock. We need to learn education how to do trading. But simple skills like this were not being taught in our regular colleges and schools. And therefore, we need to make our education contextual. I'll make it a little bit hilarious. When we were young, we were told to memorize and read about Jack and Jill going down the hills to fetch, or going up the hill to fetch a pail of water. But in Nagaland context, since we all live on the top of the mountains, we actually go down the mountain to fetch water. We read about Humpty Dumpty, and we talk about apple. But in Nagaland, we don't see so much of apple. In fact, when we talk about piglets, it could become more relevant to a young person on economics. And so there are a lot of imported syllabus, imported way of education which does not fit into our environment. So to make our education more contextual, to make it practical, so that whoever gets educated can actually find work to do and not be just overwhelmed by the fact that if you're a graduate, you only look for a government job. This actually is becoming limiting.
Absolutely, that's very well put. Lichinham, so, tourism is one sector where Nagaland, like several other states in the northeast, can do much more probably in terms of employment. Do you think Nagaland has been able to utilize that sector to the optimum level, or do you think it's much more is wanting even at this moment?
I mean, to be very honest, because my sector is I'm into agro-based. I do coffee. I'm in the
Okay.
coffee industry.
Okay.
So anything from coffee, you ask me. I mean, I'll be more confident. But tourism, I would
Absolutely, absolutely.
be the wrong
What are the
person.
prospects?
Nonetheless, I
Are
think
yeah, yeah. Go
yes.
ahead.
Nonetheless, the government is doing enough, and a lot has been happening, and there's a huge prospect for tourism. Why not? Absolutely, it's a lot has happened, and yet more can be done for sure.
And as far as agriculture is concerned, again, do you think we have been able, are there enough skilled youths, just as Mr. Dulo mentioned, that our youths need to study agriculture, utilize it? Do you think that is happening for someone like you who is trying something different? Do you think we can utilize more of our farmers and youths to take to that, to improve the economy and thereby, also be self-reliant?
Absolutely. I think, like Sir Nitsadetullo said, what we can do now is we have a lot of elite minds, highly educated, who have PhD degrees in agriculture, horticulture, but literally when it comes to really getting down to reality and monetizing our resources in terms of how we are famously known as the agrarian state, I think it is time that we get down to reality. And that is, I think, I'm sure from the government side and also from the education, a lot of extension work is happening. Nonetheless, for someone like me who never studied agriculture, I did microbiology and I did my social work studies and I worked with the government. And when I came out of it to get into coffee industry, I literally have to start everything from the scratch. And that was a time when I realized I don't have to have BSc degree or master's degrees. I just have to know what works best for our people, what works best for my company, how best we can benefit, optimize the resources. And so that's when we started getting into research, education, and more so, one of our biggest resource is pumped into fostering value addition sector. So I think more than anything else right now, we need a value addition sector people, more and more people, because no matter how much, how small the farmers could be, when you show that there is a possibility to monetize this in the form of value addition, it encourages the farmer. And then I think this is what's happening right now. Thanks to the government of Nagaland, the Department of Land Resources have gone massive plantation on coffee, for instance. And alongside people like us, we are also on the value addition sector. Now, we don't have to shout a slogan that, hey, there is a prospect in this industry. Now, people already, they are witnessing how we are we are converting all of these agro-based resources into money. And so when they see this prospect, naturally people are inclined to learn more about the coffee. And therefore we started a coffee school 2 years now, and we have trained 106 people in our coffee school. Oh. And this is not registered. This is nothing to do with certification or degrees, but anybody who is trained can straight away be employed in the in the coffee sector. And so I think even as I say this one, I am talking about we go and reach out to the scholars, the horti students, the agriculture student, and we learn from them. We have the empirical knowledge, they have the theoretical knowledge, we marriage them. And this is a beautiful thing that is happening right now, and we can always replicate this best practice for sure.
Absolutely, that's already a success story. Mr. Dulo, ultimately, it's all about identifying the resources that we have in the state, and we need probably, if I can call, visionaries to utilize that resource and ensure that the benefit trickles down to the community.
You know, Nagaland and also northeastern states have been always associated saying that it has got potential. I think we should come out of the talk on potential. We do have lots of resources. One of the primary critical point where our resources will turn into assets will be when we become entrepreneurial. I have been in this space for about 22 years now. The Entrepreneurs Associates is now 22 years. We have promoted more than 18,000 individuals, mentored, trained, and funded individuals
That's
to take up.
That's a big number. That's a big number.
Thank you, sir. Yes. It's not very big, but it's good to begin with because some of our entrepreneurs who were unemployed 20 years back are today employing more than 100 people. So I know that entrepreneurship is key to opportunity creation. And to do that in a state like Nagaland, with 11.5% of the employable force being employed in the state government, we do need to shift because even if we try to give employment to 50%, it's not going to be possible because Nagaland is not a revenue state. Or we don't even have any model in this entire world. For instance, like Norway has got 30% government employment ratio, which is the highest in the globe. Japan has got only about 6%, and India has got only 3%. So if we think that government is going to solve our youth employment problem, we are placed in a wrong situation. We need to create vibrant private entrepreneurship, and to do that we need the support of government to enable conducive environment. We need the proactive support of the banks. If the banks do not become bullish, if banks continue to see Northeast Zone and especially Nagaland as a liability business destination rather than asset business destination, we will not be able to invest enough for the economy to grow. Today, like Lee Chen said, we have a very good youth class, which is highly educated, which is willing to work. We know that they are entrepreneurs who want to grow, but we need the support of the bank. If the banks can walk with the entrepreneurs, our resources will become a reality. I'll just give you an example. Under the entrepreneurs movement for Trees for Wealth, where we target to plant 1 billion fruit trees, we have undertaken multiple thousands of micro fruit tree nurseries. One of the farmers who is 81 years of age in Peg district last year clocked in 14 lakhs rupees.
Oh.
But this economics is not in the radar of the banks. The banks will take time to see the opportunity in agribusiness. The banks will still take some time to realize that entrepreneurs are their asset in Nagaland. And so the latent resources, the human capital we have, the land resource that Nagaland has, because we have never had monarchy, we don't have zamindars, we don't have nobles. Everybody has access to land. And because the climate, topography, geography is conducive for horticulture and agriculture, there is immense potential out there for youth self-employment. We have immense potential in logistic business. If the banks can proactively invest with the youth, I believe in 5 to 10 years, we will be seeing huge impact, sir.
The good thing, at least, is that, well, there are people like you who are looking to make a change, and we can already see the change happening. Thank you so much, Mr. Dulo and Lee Chin Hamsa, for joining me on Bottom Line. Let's hope for the best as far as the employment scenario in Nagaland is concerned. That's a wrap of Bottom Line tonight.
Thank you, Goswami Ji. Thank you.